I know we introduced quite a few new terms in the last video. In this video, there is no changes to our app. It's just a quick refresher. Presentational components simply take props and render something to the screen. The greeter message component is a great example of a presentational component. It accesses two props that get passed from it via the parent. It renders them to the screen, and that's it. Now, our greeter form is also a presentational component. It doesn't maintain its own state. It simply takes some props, renders the form, and when the form gets submitted, it calls a function. It doesn't care if the state ever gets updated. All it knows is that it's going to get passed an onNewName function, and it's going to call it with the name when it gets updated. Our greeter component is the classic example of a container component. It maintains state for the application, like the name attribute, and when that state gets updated, it updates its children. So if the state gets a new name, the greeter message is going to re-render because it relies on the name state. Now the next thing that's important is that state can be changed and props can't. Inside of handle new name, I can try to do this with this.props.message, setting it equal to something new, literally. Save the file, and then in the browser, I can try to set a new name, hit set name, and you can see the message never changes. Updating prop values is not allowed in React. Updating the state, though, is perfectly fine. So container components have state, presentational components don't. The last thing is remember, our container components really shouldn't do much rendering other than rendering children. In this case, we have a containing div because we can only have one root element, and then the only things we do is render children. And this is perfect. This is a great container component. That's just a quick aside recapping what we've done so far. I know breaking things out into multiple components can be very confusing, as well as the concept of state and props themselves. We'll be working with it a lot throughout the course because it's a fundamental idea in React. I'll see you next time.